So now what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you two kind of things that are good to know about. I did want to show you how to turn on some of these other modifiers that you see I have available, like Meshtools and Looptools. Now these are just the same process we did before, right? You just go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons is kind of already the one that's available, right? It's already there. And in this case, I can go to, say, like Looptools, right? So I can just type in Loop. And there it is. You just check on Looptools, right? It's just clicking it off or on. You see when you do it, it shows up. And then, of course, I can go to Mesh, right? And I can just do Mesh. And that'll bring up Edit Mesh Tools as well. Actually, it brings up Mirror, Auto Mirror as well. And you just check on Edit Mesh Tools right here. And that's those extra add-ons. Now, you notice if I open these up, you'll see a lot of different stuff. Like Looptools has some other cool features. We'll see some of those later on. I'll keep that closed for the moment. Meshtools is really the big one I wanted, right? So remember, Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and probably right now, Mesh, right? Just type in Mesh in the search up here, the little magnifying glass. Check on Edit Mesh Tools, right? The Edit Mesh Tools one. Looptools is actually right in that same area. So they're actually, if you type in Mesh, it'll bring you to all of them, right? Auto Mirror, Edit Mesh, Looptools. Those are good ones to have checked on. They come with Blender, so you don't have to find, you just have to turn them on. Meshtools, though, you just click on it to open it. You'll see there's an area called Face Tools, right? There's an area called Face Tools. That gives us cut faces, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, right? So I'm going to show that in a minute, but that actually gives you cut faces tool, and that's a cool tool. So that's what I really wanted was Meshtools add-on, and I wanted to open up the Face Tools section, right? And that's just another, you click on Face Tools, it opens it. But before I even get to that, I want to show you guys how to more quickly tweak stuff, the shape, right? We know that if I go to whatever selection mode I want to be in, and I hit W for move, I could select and then view move, right? Select then the middle mouse button, select middle mouse button. But remember, there is an actual faster way. Our selection tool up here, right? Q. Q is the quick key for that. It's right up at the top, though. It's the kind of orange box. You'll notice that many of our tools, though, have little triangles at the bottom right corner. That means there's other versions of that tool, right? So if I hold down left mouse button on that select tool at the very top, you see there's other options. Select box is the default. Select circle is your drag select. We'll see that a little bit later on. Select lasso. And there's also the tweak tool. Now you notice I have mouse buttons assigned to these because I have a 5-button mouse up here. You can actually assign your own quick keys to this. However, there's a toggle for this, right? If I hit Q again, it goes to circle select, right? And that just lets you hold down your left mouse button, move your cursor, and just paint select, right? Hit Q again, it goes to lasso, which is kind of like our rectangle select, but it's a lasso. Whatever the lasso touches gets selected. And then that last one is tweak. It's the one that looks like a cursor with a plus. So Q toggles you through these, right? Box select is just whatever the box touches. But if you hit Q, it toggles through to tweak tool. And what tweak tool does is all you have to do is left click drag to move, right? So it's based on view move already, but you don't have to do 2 clicks, right? You don't have to select and then click again, right? That's 2 clicks. It's the selecting click, left click, and then, of course, the actual click on the whatever manipulate handle you want or middle mouse button. That's 2 clicks. Anytime you could do stuff with less clicks, that's quicker, right? And, of course, tweak tool will stay on no matter what selection mode I'm in. So if I go to 1 for vertices, I could tweak some vertices out. So you see I can just left click drag these verts out. And you see how this makes it even quicker and easier to make adjustments to the shape that I might want? I go to 3 for face mode, left click drag on that one to bring it up and in a little bit. I could drag that up a little bit to develop my hips a little bit more there. 2 for edge mode, I could bring that up. And you see how this makes it even quicker and easier to go in here and adjust shape? So I can left click drag to bring that in to kind of give myself a little more of my shoulder properly. I could bring this back, this one out a little bit. And you see how I can just left click drag these different selection types. 1 for vertex, right? 2 for edges. But you know, you just left-click drag, and it makes the whole process of shaping a bit faster and easier. Do you have to use the tweak tool to do this stuff? No. Will it make things a bit faster as you start to work? Highly likely, right? Highly likely. So you see how I can just get in here and I can just do this nice extra bit of shaping to this model to get kind of more of the troll body shape that I want, right? So you're going to switch between modes and then just left-click drag to tweak the shape. So I want to make sure that you know there's a tweak tool in here. Q will toggle through it. So you just hit Q a bunch of times until it shows the tweak tool. And then you just hold down left mouse button, drag. It's faster, right? It's a faster feature for doing this stuff. Now, before I finish up here, what I want to do is I want to show you guys how to put the pectoral edge loop in, right? Pectoral girdle. Believe it or not, there's a muscle group that goes from your pectorals and kind of inserts underneath your deltoids and then around your trapezius. And I'll talk about those more explicitly in a minute when I'm not recording a video lecture. But I also like to kind of extend this pectoral girdle out further here. So I'm going to go Alt-C for loop cut, right? Remember, loop cut's right here. I'm going to put an extra edge loop written right there. You'll notice I can hit Q to go back to my tweak tool. So it will go back to whatever the last one active was. So it's not like it goes back to default rectangle select. Whatever the last Q feature I had on, right, is available. So I can easily just go right back to the tweak and just left-click drag these up a little bit. And that's going to allow me to kind of do a little more tweaking there to get the shape a little bit closer to maybe what I want. And now what I want to do is I'll bring these down a little bit as well, just to get a bit more proper pectoral shape for that. And now what I want to do is I actually want to put in a loop that kind of wraps through and up around here. That's where that cut faces tool feature comes in handy. Now this is where I'm going to hit Q to toggle to circle select, right? Remember, Q toggles through this very top tool. There's actually 4 options for it, right? Just Q toggles through them. The one that is a dotted orange circle is called circle select. And I'll make sure to be 3 for face mode. And you'll notice that if I hold down left mouse button and move my cursor, it basically drag selects those. I can then hold down Shift to select those. Because remember, Shift usually adds selections in Blender. Occasionally, actually it always adds. Control or Shift, depending on the tool, will add or subtract. Now you'll notice I selected the faces that go kind of 2 into the arm. Nothing under the arm, though. One on the outside here, kind of that second polygon out on the arm. And then the same on the back, right? And I'm going to go to that Meshtools menu, Face Tools. Remember, Edit Preferences, Add-ons, right? Type in Mesh here, and then just make sure Edit Meshtools is checked on. That'll make this available, right? And just click on those to open them up. The second tool is Cut Faces. Believe it or not, you can assign this to a quick key. So I could right-click. Remember, assigning shortcut keys, right-click on the tool. It brings up the option right here. Do you want to assign shortcut? Yes. I'm going to make it Shift-D. And now, if I hit Shift-D, that cuts faces. And you'll notice that it puts an edge loop in through based on that selection. Loop cut is automated. This is not. You have to select a specific area, and then it puts an edge loop in based on that. Now, I usually go to 2 for edge mode and select these 2 edges, because this does create a triangle here and a triangle here, and actually an n-gon here. Remember, n-gons are polygons with 5 vertices or more. Generally, they're problematic. In this case, though, we're eventually going to apply these modifiers soon. Not today, not in this video, but soon, quite soon. And that will take care of that, right? So this will be taken care of. We're just not going to worry about it right now. But I do want to select the edges between these 2 triangles. Now, cut faces only works for faces. So if you want to add an edge or edge loop on edge selections, you just right click to bring up your edge context menu, and you'll see there's actually a feature called subdivide, and that will do it. Now I can hit Q until I get back to my tweak tool, and now I have geometry that's going to allow me to start to shape my pectorals a bit. So see, I can actually start to get a bit of pectoral shape in here. I can bring this up a little bit more. I can bring that up a little bit more. We can slowly make adjustments, and you start to see that we actually have maybe vertex mode for tweak. We start to actually have a bit of our pectoral shape that we want, and a bit of kind of that deltoid shoulder form. Now you see, this is where this gets a little trickier than the crab creature we're making, right? That's why we did the crab creature first. It gets us a lot of good fundamentals, and then as we work, we could do something a little bit more complicated. This is a new tool, though, that cut faces tool. Putting an edge loop in that's not linear, right? That's actually based on a selection allows us to create more complicated edge loop structures. And Q, toggling through these options, takes us to select tool, or circle select, and tweak. And I've assigned mouse buttons to them, so I can just hit mouse buttons to tweak those instead of hitting Q to go through them. All right, so that'd be a great place for me to stop. I'm actually going to save scene as on this one, so I have a copy that's version 2. There we go. All right, so that'd be a great place to stop.